they used the word tamper. And it would have been obvious from the first email that I was in Bangkok. I mean, that would have shown up as on an IP address that I was here in Bangkok. And it would have been obvious from that first email, I would have thought, that it was a very vague, general threat. And then, having got the reply, I spent 2 or 3 days sort of thinking it through, thinking, do they really want to pay me? So I hatched together another email which generalised. The threat was still general, the detailed payment details. The only time I actually mentioned a threat specifically was I talked about having 2 colleagues in England. Well, again, it should have been obvious that was not the case, but that I had a couple of colleagues in England who were planning to purchase and return items of food to the store north of the border that has been contaminated with HIV. Now, again, it should have been obvious to anyone, when the fact I stated in the email that HIV is harmless outside of the body, the virus is dead, not just leaves the body. It can't be, especially refrigerated or frozen, it will be, the virus will be dead. So there was no possibility, for 2 reasons. I mean, A, I was obviously working alone, and anyone who analysed these mails will be able to see I was obviously working alone, and all conceived unthought out plans. And secondly, there is no threat to anybody if HIV has been added to a product, because the virus is dead. So, for those 2 reasons, it's impossible for there to be a threat to anybody. My real threat to Tesco, my only actual threat to Tesco was to inform the media that something might happen in the future. It was on that basis that I thought Tesco would not allow that information to reach the media and would be anxious for that to happen. Which makes it doubly amazed that they've allowed this media circus to accompany this case, because effectively they've done exactly the only thing I could threaten to do, they've done to themselves by allowing it to become such major news, such headline-grabbing news. And it's only going to get worse. When it goes to trial, there'll be more photographs, there'll be more statements, and all the evidence and my motivation and my defence will all be made available, and it's just the way things leak out here, and they will all be made available in the press. And so the story is going to drag on and keep going, and I'm amazed that anyone would allow this to continue. It just seems extraordinary. There is no example to be made of me anymore. The example has already been made. The amateur is already deterred, and the professional is only going to learn by allowing us to go to trial. So it seems to make no sense to anybody.